Let us see the general arrangement of the engine cylinder or engine completely. So this is the rough outline diagram where you can see here the engine cylinder, then this is the piston, and thereafter we have connecting rod which is connected to the crank. So this is a cylindrical shape, which is a cylinder in which piston reciprocates and which is connected to connecting rod through crank pin, and whereas this connecting rod is connected to crank with the help of a crank pin. So when what has happened means here actually we can have this is the cylinder head where it has arrangement to fix the inlet valve, exhaust valve, and in addition to that at the center we can have a spark plug in case of HI engine and fuel injector in case of CI engine. So the sequence happens means when piston move from TDC, top dead center, to the bottom dead center, suction takes place, the fuel air mixture gets into cylinder, and in the reverse stroke when it moves from BDC to TDC, that charge gets compressed to very high pressure, and at that moment with the help of spark plug a spark is produced which leads to ignition of the charge, and thereafter the combustion takes place and high pressure buildup which push the piston towards again BDC in the third stroke, and final stroke thereafter it pushes all the exhaust gases, waste whatever left behind in the cylinder to the outside through silencer or through the exhaust valve. So this is what happens in the engine, and here the primary parts are, as I said, cylinder, piston, connecting rod, crank. So these are the important parts in the combustion process of an engine. So therefore we need to look at design of each and every part now in the same sequence. Start with cylinder, then design of piston, followed by design of connecting rod, and finally design of crank and crankshaft. So this is cylinder. So cylinder diameter, this is cylindrical shape. Inside diameter we have to find out. The length of the cylinder need to find out. Cylinder head, this thickness, and here we can see the extension is provided. This one, this is called as a flange. So that this cylinder can be fixed to cylinder head with the help of a bolts and studs. So throughout the circumference of the cylinder, it can be fixed to the cylinder head, and even at the bottom side to the crankcase. So here some cases the cylinder may be made as integral part of crankcase itself, but in majority cases it made separately and fixed to the crankcase with help of bolts and nuts. So it depends upon design. The design. So now let us find out what should be the diameter of these bolts so that it can secure without fail, and thereafter followed by piston remaining parts also. And one more thing is, if we start with cylinder, let us start with design of cylinder. Cylinder, there is one important term called as cylinder liner. What is cylinder liner? What is its importance? Let us see. Here all we know that in IC engines energy produced in the chamber, because of that results in reciprocating motion of piston, which is converted to rotary motion at crank through intermediate member as connecting rod. So this piston reciprocates in the engine. It reciprocates in the engine. So when it reciprocates, because of friction between the piston and inside surface of cylinder, that results in increase of diameter of cylinder because of wearing. Because continuously it is reciprocating and exposing to very high temperature, this leads to wearing of that inner surface material, results in increase of diameter of cylinder. When this diameter increases, here the charge gets escaped through that gap, means a leakage takes place. Perfect sealing cannot be maintained. So in that case, we have to replace the entire engine cylinder with a new cylinder. So to avoid this, what we can do is, instead of using directly cylinder, we can use cylinder liner, which is a hollow cylindrical part. It looks like this. This cylinder liner is inserted in the cylinder, so that the piston reciprocates in the cylinder liner. So then what happens in case of wearing, only the cylinder liner can be removed and replaced with a new liner. So that is the cylinder liner. And as I already told you that it is exposed to very high temperature and friction, it results in friction continuously. So therefore what we need is, we need to cool it. Otherwise the engine gets overheated. So in what way we can cool it? In light vehicles like scooters, bikes, simply air cooling is sufficient. Means by designing properly, by providing fins around the engine, so that we can improve the rate of airflow, so that the surface area we can increase, so that it is exposing to outside atmosphere, so that it can take away the heat and avoid overheating of the engine. But whereas in heavy engines like bus, even if you take medium vehicles like car, jeep, trucks, the air cooling is not sufficient. We have to provide some artificial cooling with help of any coolant. Maybe it may be water, or it may be any coolant like refrigerants, any coolant liquid. So what we have to do is, around the surface of cylinder we can provide the jackets. Through that jackets we can circulate the coolant, so that it can take the heat and which is released to the outside atmosphere in the radiator. So here we can have like this. So this is how the air jackets will, coolant jackets will be, and that coolant jacket, it is throughout the circumference of the cylinder. So the coolant circulates along the cylinder, takes away heat and gets into the radiator, which relates to the outside atmosphere there, and again it comes back and circulates. The same cycle repeats. And when this cylinder is directly in contact with this coolant jacket, then it is called as a wet liner. And when there is a gap between these two, it is not direct contact with the coolant jacket, then that is called as a dry liner. That is the two different types of liners we have.